Crimson Trace offers a full line of protection-oriented products, including red laser sights, green laser sights, and tactical weapon lights to elevate your confidence in moments that matter. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, fact-checking the Brady Gun Control Group, how anyone can become a gun rights lobbyist, Ruger #1s and hunting prep with Mr. Whitetail, new guns and a great deal from Kimber, and more. And as always, call us at 866-TALK-GUN. That's Tom Talk Gun with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, here's Tom.
All right, let's talk about some guns and shooting and optics and slings and rest and bipods and, well, you know the drill. Anything that has to do with guns, we'll talk about it. Hey, welcome. I'm Tom Gresham. The show here is called Gun Talk because that's all we do. We talk about guns. And yes, of course, we'll talk about gun politics. That kind of goes along with it. But it's not just political. Heck no. I've been spending... I've been geeking out. I've been having some fun the last week or so because I got 2 new rifles and I got another one on the way, which it got weird at a certain point. It's kind of like, oh, how did this happen? You ever had that happen? You're going, wait a minute, how did these guns show up here? This is weird. But we'll talk about that. Actually, we'll be talking about some of the new calibers and old calibers and other things a little bit later on today. We're going to be chatting with Larry Weishuhn. He's known as Mr. Whitetail, but he's hunted everything all over the world. And he and I are both getting new rifles in new calibers, different calibers. We'll be talking about that as well. Just lots of fun. We'll be talking, actually, it's kind of interesting. I was thinking about this because in the online discussions, in the on-air discussions, in the media with the gun ban clan, they're talking about too many rounds. How many is enough? How many do you need? Well, I don't know. Kind of all depends, doesn't it? Joe Biden says, I got a restriction on the number of magazines you could put in a gun. God, what a clown. Oh, goodness gracious. He's such a goof. It's hard to take him seriously, but there he is, being taken seriously. Weirdness, that's for sure. I don't know how many is enough. I just know that I need one more. I would like to have one more than I need. How's that? And since I don't know what that number is going to be, having a bunch is not a bad thing. As long as you're not doing anything bad with it. And if you're doing anything bad with it, then having one round is too many. Having said all that, I've had discussions this week with a friend contacted me. He says, look, I want to get a new AR. The one I have is a Colt H-Bar that I bought back in 1994. Same thing as me. I bought a Colt H-Bar in 94 in advance of the Clinton gun ban. Now they want to bring back the Clinton gun ban, the AKA the so-called assault weapons ban. It wasn't then. It won't be now because there's no such thing as an assault weapon. Other than that, it's a political term, which leads us to a most interesting lawsuit having been filed in California to do away with the assault weapons ban that they have in California. And the premise of it, the basis of the lawsuit is that this is not actually a real thing. Assault weapon is a political term. It's a weaponized term, if you will. That one's going to be fun to watch. But I'm having this conversation with my buddy, and he wants to get a new AR. But actually what he really wants is an AR-10, not an AR-15. For those who know, an AR-10 is a larger platform, slightly larger, and it takes slightly larger, longer cartridges built around the .308 Winchester or the 7.62 by 51 NATO round. Same thing. So we had some talks, and he wants a quality one, but he doesn't want to spend $3,000. Okay, got it. And he's talking about this and that. I said, honestly, look at the major brands. I didn't narrow it down for him. I said, just Ruger makes good stuff. SIG makes good stuff. Smith makes good stuff. I mean, Springfield Armory makes, go on and on and on. They're all good stuff now. At his level, what he was looking for, I said, look, try to spend something in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. I mean, I even brought up and said, look, if you want to go crazy, you could buy a SCAR. Yeah, it's pushing $4,000, but, oh, man, it's nice. Yeah, he's not going to do that. I understand. So we're having this conversation about ARs, which of course take detachable box magazines, which could be anything from 5 rounds to 60 rounds, depending on what you're getting or more. And at the same time, I'm all jazzed up because I got one, I'm getting another. Ruger number 1. Number 1 holds exactly 1 round of ammunition. No magazine, detachable or otherwise. It's a single tube, single shot rifle, and I'm all excited about it. As you know, I talked about this. I bought one 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks ago in 257 Weatherby Magnum. Had not planned to buy that, but the thing was just so gorgeous. The stock was so beautiful. The wood was fabulous, and so I just bought it. And then not 2 weeks later, a conversation that I had 6 months ago with the folks at Ruger, I said, you guys ought to make a 6.5 PRC in the Ruger number 1. That'd be cool. They go, yeah, who's going to buy that? There's not enough interest in that. It's not a good email. So, are you ready for your 6.5 PRC number 1? I go, but yeah, we made one. And if you can get some interest going in it, if you like it, if you talk it up, if maybe we can get some more. Basically, they're saying, look, if you can convince the sales guys that enough people will buy them, then they'll make them. And it's interesting. That's how it really works. If they're convinced that enough people will buy something, they will make it. That's simply how it is. People say, why don't they make such and such? Well, they're not convinced that enough people will buy it. And when you come in there and say, well, I'll buy one, so will all my friends. Well, that's 3. I don't know. I don't know how many they need. I don't know the numbers. 5,000, 500. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. The 6.5 PRC is basically big brother to the 6.5 Creedmoor. Take the 6.5 Creedmoor and crank 200 to 250 feet per second more out of it, and that's what you got. I think it'd be a great deer, antelope, and elk cartridge with the right bullets. So that's kind of where we are. And for those who think, oh, you gun people are crazy. Well, yeah, we're crazy about guns. That's true, because I like the Ruger number 1, which it will hold 1, exactly 1. And I like ARs, which will hold, well, whatever you want to put in it for a magazine. For me, generally a 30-round magazine. 20 rounds are really comfortable and convenient shooting off the bench. 30 rounds are fun at the range. And if I have an AR for self-defense, it's going to have 30-round mags in it. Loaded with 27 rounds because they tend to be more reliable that way. Hey, let's go ahead and go to the phone now. Line 1, Tom is called in from Wyoming. Hey, Tom, thank you for your patience. You're on the air.
Well, thank you, sir. Hello, Tom. Good to talk to you. You're doing a magnificent job. I wish there was more of you.
Oh, well, thank you. There's more of me than I wish there was, so there you go. That's a different subject.
I know the feeling, Tom. Well, the state of our nation. I'm a hunting, fishing type of guy, but I'm a retired police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And our nation is a nation of laws. I was personally taught and trained by Jeff Cooper starting some 43 years ago. Mm. And I'm alive because of what he taught me.
Really?
As you know, we recently, unfortunately, lost Janelle.
Right.
But in any event, Jeff was quite the historian, and so am I. In my career as a police officer, I absolutely refused to ever arrest anyone for carrying a concealed weapon. Managed to do that and get through without getting in trouble. Mm. But when I pinned on my badge, when I put my pin on, I raised my right hand and I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And this country, with all the problems that we have, and there's a lot, we are still the last shining light of freedom on this planet Earth.
Well, to your point, I see people trying with all their might to break into our country illegally, but I don't see anybody trying to break out.
You're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. We are that special, but we're also very, very young. I did a talk to a group. Matter of fact, I was at one of the Cooper reunions in Raton, New Mexico some years ago on just how young our country really, really is.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us, say, in our mid-50s, only 4 of our lifetimes ago, we were fighting the revolution in combat. The last man to die who fought at Lexington on that Tuesday, April 19, 1775, was Jonathan Harrington. There's actually two Jonathan Harringtons. They're no relation, but Jonathan was 16 years old on the day of the battle, and he lived to be deep into his 90s. He died at the age of 95. He died 53 years before my father was born. And that's enough to make a man sit down and think.
So you'll start thinking about how young this experiment is. And don't make no mistake, this constitutional republic we have, i.e. not a democracy, never was supposed to be, and it is not, this experiment is young, and we're still figuring it all out. And yet there are some that want to take this thing that is the shining star and throw it away. I don't understand it.
Absolutely. Well, because as the generations go on, they're doing the tepid water syndrome. They're trying to change history. You know, as the blue-haired lady said to Ben Franklin, "Sir, what have we wrought?" He said, "A republic, madam, if we can keep it." If you read our founding documents, all three of them, Declaration of Independence, Constitution, the Bill of Rights, read it real carefully, real slow. Not one time will you ever see the word democracy. It's not in there. Never has been.
Let me ask you a question, Tom, before I have to run to the break. You said that your training with Jeff Cooper 40-something years ago saved your life. What happened?
About 70% of it was mindset, was the color code, and to concentrate on the front sight. He who loses the front sight is lost. Spray and pray does not work. But by far the most powerful weapon is mindset. To be able to go from white to yellow to orange to red, that in itself is a deadly weapon.
Part of that, I'm just going to throw this in and get your reaction. Part of that, and I am convinced, is having already made the decision of what you're going to do before it happens.
Absolutely 100%. Okay, as Jeff used to explain to us, in our country, as Americans, we are conditioned to not use lethal force, if we are sane, against another human being. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's not easy.
True.
And that's a good thing, and we want to stay that way. But a police officer has to be ready. And also, on my cruiser, it said to protect and to serve. It never should have said that. It just should have said to serve. Those people on the street were my boss, and I was their servant, and I was proud to be their servant.
But we should not depend upon the police to protect us. Tom, I've got to run. We're up against a hard break here, sir. I thank you for your time, and thank you for your call, and thank you for a very interesting conversation. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. We're open lines. If you have a range report or a thought about where we are, give me a holler.
The next big thing for the AR-15 has arrived. The Brownells BRN 180 Upper, a modernized version of the Armalite AR-180, featuring a 16-inch barrel, a 223 wild chamber, and a full-length pick rail. The BRN 180 skips the buffer system to allow complete function of the firearm with the stock folded or extended. Best of all, the Brownells BRN 180 mounts to any mil-spec AR lower. Visit brownells.com today.
Since 1994, Crimson Trace has defined and built the laser sighting category through design, innovation, and performance. With an obsession to create best-in-class electro-optics, Crimson Trace now offers a full line of lasers, lights, reflex sights, red dot sights, and rifle scopes for tactical and sport applications. Most Crimson Trace products include free batteries for life, and all scopes are backed by a lifetime warranty. Find yours at your local dealer or at crimsontrace.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
The Kimber Evo SP is a 9mm carry gun with reliability you can count on and looks you can brag about. And now you can save $100 with a rebate on the Kimber Evo SP. Learn more about this great deal on the Kimber Evo SP at kimberamerica.com. That's kimberamerica.com. Or ask about the Kimber Evo SP at your local gun dealer.
Back with you. We're talking, pretty much about anything that has to do with guns. I've got some new ones that I just got. Got this used gun I bought, a Marlin 1895 4570 shortened barrel, 16-inch barrel, Skinner sights, very cool. Also Ruger number 1 in 257 Weatherby, and getting another one in 6.5 PRC. I'll have more reports on that as we go along. You might look up that caliber. It's pretty cool. But we had a call from Tom earlier. He was a retired police officer. He was saying that what he learned at Gunsight 43 years ago has saved his life. I said, yeah, I get that. It changes you. I keep telling people it changes you. We just this week shot some more episodes of First Person Defender. I would really encourage you. Look, it's free. I would encourage you to go look at First Person Defender. Once you start, you can't stop. Because you have that aha moment, that I never thought of that. Holy cow. That's what happens in a self-defense situation. Wow, look how fast that is. Oh, did you see that guy over there? Why didn't she do? What is she? That's the reaction you have when you watch First Person Defender. It's on our YouTube channel. Just look for Gun Talk Media on, let's see, Roku, YouTube, Amazon Fire, pretty much anywhere you can get streaming stuff. But we shot some more episodes this week, and it was interesting because it's another eye-opener to people who have not had the training, and even some who are very good shots, but they haven't had real self-defense training. Case in point, competition shooter, good shooter, real good. Involved in a self-defense scenario. It's actually a kidnapping at a public park. And when it's over, well, that's the thing, in the middle of it, shots fired, and then this person stands there like, do I empty, unload, and show clear, or what? It's like, it's not over till the cops show up. What are you doing? You need to stay plugged in. This fight, there may be somebody else. You need to be looking over your shoulders. He may have somebody who's coming up behind you. He may get back up. It's like, bang, bang, bad guy files down. Yay, high five. What are you doing? That's the kind of stuff you get when you take real training. Another one, which was interesting to me, because it's one of those you think, once I thought about it, I thought, okay, I can see how that happens. But at first you're thinking, what? Well, two of them. One is one of our good guys. We had a knife situation, and he just kind of froze up and didn't know what to do. He said, well, I never thought that I might be faced with somebody with a knife. I mean, do you shoot somebody with a knife? I mean, I've never thought about that. Huh. And then we had one who said, we had this scenario in a restaurant. I've never shot from the sitting position. I've never shot while I was sitting in a chair. Really? Do you ever in your life sit in a chair? Do you ever in your life sit in a car? Have you shot from a car? You might want to consider going someplace where you can get some training on how to shoot from a car. You might even want to go to a place where they'll let you shoot through the windshield. I'm talking about shooting through the glass, break out the glass. It's eye-opening. But here's what it does. It's not that I can do it. It changes how you think. And that's what Tom was saying. It changes how you think. If it happens here, I can shoot while I'm sitting. If it happens here, I can shoot through the windshield if need be. If it's a knife, I can shoot. If it's a this, I can shoot. I can do this. I can do that. If you don't subject yourself to that kind of training, you won't know. Let's talk to Brett on line 2 out of Indiana. Hey, Brett, thank you for your patience. You're on Gun Talk.
Good afternoon, Tom. A quick comment and a question, please. My comment is, how did your head not explode talking to the woman from the Brady Bunch and that guy running for Congress? I used a whole roll of duct tape listening to that. I mean, you really have some patience, sir.
Well, thank you.
So that's all I got. I mean, it was maddening.
Well, you know what it is? I want to hear what they have to say. I want to hear, and if you just let them talk, they expose themselves. We're actually going to do very shortly, we're going to have somebody come in and say, look, here's some of the things that the Brady Group spokesperson said, and we need to rebut these because these are the actual facts. In fact, using their own data, their own presentations against them because they're just... be kind. Disingenuous is the kind word I like to say. Of course, I often say, "Hey, they just lie," but but it's nicer if you say disingenuous there. Okay.
All
right, I got about 30 seconds. You said you had a question.
Okay. Here's my question. You talked about this. How do I use emotion to talk to these people, not facts, figures, and logic? You said we have to fight them with emotion because they use emotion. How do I do that?
Sure. When they say, well, I love the one today I heard, so you love guns more than you love children. I said, well, if you love children, how are you going to protect them? What?
Huh.
So what's your plan? Guy kicks in the door. What's your plan to protect the children right now? Not some policy thing, not some, I wish this wouldn't happen. He's in the door. They are in the door. There's 3 of them there. They're there to kill everybody. How are you going to protect the children? Oh, you don't have a plan? You mean you don't love children? There you go. You know, you don't have to go that far. Sometimes you just ask the question and let them just stand there like this. What? Tell you what, when we come back, more facts about what the Brady said, the real world.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Last week, we had a representative from the Brady campaign. Now they just call themselves Brady. It's one of the gun control groups, gun ban groups, if you will, formerly known as Handgun Control Incorporated. They used to be connected with a group called Coalition to Ban Handguns. So I mean, they've always been about banning guns. But Kyleanne, one of their spokespeople, was here, and we had a good conversation. In the middle of it, she's making some statements, and I'm thinking, that's not right. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I know the CDC numbers. I know the National Safety Council numbers. I know the FBI numbers. I know what she's saying isn't right, but at a certain point, she's saying, well, 8 kids a day are being, injured or shot. And I said, well, but you got to be including adults in that. She said, oh, no, that's just up to age 17. Of course, it's my position that 16, 17-year-olds are not children. They may be minors, but they're not children. But at a certain point, I just have to let it go and move on because I don't want to call somebody a liar. But immediately after this thing aired, and if you haven't heard it, you need to go listen to it on the podcast. We were contacted with somebody going, oh, wait, you need to hear this. So joining me right now, Jordan Michaels from Guns Americas, because Jordan has the info on this. Hey, Jordan, how are you?
Hey, Tom, I'm good. How are you?
So, I mean, when you heard this, you had to have just bolted upright when she said that.
I did. Yeah, no, I really did. Because I actually covered the End Family Fire campaign last year when they rolled it out. And I looked at the CDC statistics that they cited, and I could not figure out how they got this 8 kids per day number.
Okay.
With children, minors 0 to 17 years old. But when I added 18 and 19-year-olds to the data, then we get something around 8 per day. It's about 7.8.
Well, that's interesting. That's pretty much exactly what I told her, but I hadn't actually done the research. You actually ran the numbers down.
Yeah, I did. So When you include 18 and 19-year-olds, it's about 7.8 per day. When you don't include adults 18 and 19 years old, the number drops down to about 4.4. So, in other words, including 18 and 19-year-olds almost doubles the number of unintentional injuries and deaths.
And to put a fine point on it, 18 and 19-year-olds can go buy guns on their own legally. They can keep them at home legally. They can, of course, be also in the Marines or the Air Force or the Army, so they're not exactly children. But you went a step further. You went back to the Brady group with your information, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. As a journalist, I want to get both sides of this question. And so I asked them about this, and they admitted to using 0 to 19. They admitted to using that age range in their statistic.
Wait. Now, who did you talk to, or who admitted this?
Sure. So I got a statement from Kyleanne Hunter, the Brady rep,
from the woman who told me they're only going up to 17. Last week she said they only go up to 17, but you heard back from her, from the same woman, and what'd she say?
So I have the quote here. Can I just read it out?
Yeah.
Sure. So she said, quote, "We chose to include 18 and 19-year-olds in our statistic because the majority of them either still live with their parents or have access to their parents' homes. They may legally be able to purchase a firearm from a store, but if they have access to an unlocked and loaded gun in their parents' home, there's a greater risk of unintentional injury." Now, I still have access to my parents' home. So, I mean, maybe they should go all the way up to 28, right? Maybe they should go all the way up to 40. It was kind of confusing, this rationale for including 18 and 19-year-olds in their data.
They probably thought, if challenged, they can say, well, teenagers, and people think of teenagers as youngsters, and they knew they couldn't go to 20, although that would bump it up even more. But what's fascinating to me is that she admitted to you that even though they're claiming it only goes to 17, but yeah, we actually are lying. We actually go up to 19. And then last week on the show here, when I said, that's got to be going above 17, she said, oh, no, that's just up to 17. So she just flat out lied on the show last week with us.
Yeah. And I mean, even some of their materials, their promotional materials, say 0 to 17. So it's, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
In your experience to cover this, and I've been covering it a lot longer than you have, but I'd love to get your experience because I would say fairly new at it, but you've got, some track record. Do you find yourself uncovering instances of the gun ban lobby lying?
I mean, usually they don't admit it, right? So that was what was really fascinating to me about contacting Brady, and why I honestly wasn't really surprised to hear about Miss Hunter coming on your show, because they do seem to be trying to reach out to the gun community. Now, what I said in my piece last year is that if they're trying to do that, this is a pretty terrible way of doing it. I mean, gun owners already don't trust Brady, and this is just kind of another reason not to trust them.
When you are willing to lie about the data, and when you're willing to lie, I mean, basically, here's what I have learned from 50 years of covering this, is that the gun control movement cannot exist without lying, because the facts actually work against them. I caught CNN making up quotes, quoting an ATF agent said, this person at the ATF said that assault weapons are the gun that's primarily used in murders. This was back in 94 when the Clinton gun ban, the assault weapons ban, was being debated. But interestingly enough, they actually named the person at the ATF. So I guess they didn't think anybody would call him on it. I called and finally found this guy at ATF and talked to him on the phone. He says, I've never talked to anybody at CNN. Nobody's talked to me. He said, and if they had talked to me, I would have told them that these guns almost never are used in murders. That would be the exact opposite of what they said. They just made it up. Yeah,
and I think it's really important for gun owners when they see these statistics to really dig into them. I covered another story. It was also about this issue, unintentional kids getting unintentionally shot, And when I dug into the statistics, the examples that they used, a lot of them were not the kind of situation that they're talking about, right? They're thinking of a young kid finding his parent's gun and accidentally shooting himself. One of them that I recall was a group of teenagers, right? They were sitting around. One of them had a gun. I don't quite remember where he got it from. And one of them was trying to stick the gun like down their pant leg, and they shot themselves, right? So those kind of incidents are also included in these statistics. So I think it's important to really dig in when you see this kind of data.
You know, Jordan, if you're going to be involved in this the way we are, you simply have to become a student of it. You have to actually get the CDC numbers and know where to look for them, and FBI numbers and National Safety Council numbers, which, by the way, for those who don't know, the National Safety Council says the number of accidental childhood gunshot deaths are at its lowest point in any time that they've ever kept the numbers. We got more guns. We got a lot more people. We got people, carrying guns loaded, and the number of kids accidentally killed with guns is at the lowest point it's ever been. But then again, you have to be a student of this stuff. Hey, look, I got to run. Thank you so much. Can we get you back on here again to talk about this?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, by the way, if you want to read more of Jordan's stuff, is it GunsAmerica.com?
Yep, GunsAmerica.com/digest. I also write for Texas Sportsman, and Texas residents. Yep.
Very good. Jordan Hunter, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All righty, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. That was Jordan Michaels. I'm sorry, Jordan Michaels joining us from Guns America. Check it out, GunsAmerica.com. Be right back.
A perfect pistol for self-protection? Smith & Wesson's M&P 2.0 Compact. Big enough to shoot easily, small enough to carry daily. Plenty of ammo to get the job done with 15 rounds of 9mm. Also available in 40 and 45 calibers. All the great M&P 2.0 enhanced features, now in a compact size for carry and home protection. Check it out at smith-wesson.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway. This month, enter to win with Surefire. One person will win Surefire's X300U handgun light, featuring a stunning 1,000 lumens. And two folks will win Surefire Stiletto rechargeable pocket flashlight. Enter now through August 30th at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Talk Gun, or just dial Tom Talk Gun, easier that way. Been shooting? Been buying anything? I know you're not selling anything. You're smarter than that, right? Are you looking at the news, looking at what's going on, looking at Republicans starting to talk about, well, maybe we could do this kind of gun control and running out and buying stuff? I get it. I understand. If they're going to talk about magazine capacity limits, I'm going to buy more mags. And I got a lot of mags. I get that. I would also ask you to, how about let's make an effort to keep it from happening. Even if you don't want to or can't donate money to somebody, here's one thing you can do. It takes about 5 minutes. If you will call the United States Senate and say, hey, I live in Montana, or I live in wherever you are, I need to talk to my 2 senators, and they will patch you through to those offices. And you'll get some legislative aid. Just say, I just want to let the senator know, this is my name, this is where I live, I am a voter. I am against any sort of compromise, no expanded background checks, no so-called red flag laws, none of it. I'm watching you, and I will base my vote based on that. I am asking you to relay to the senator that the position that I will support is absolutely no compromise on our fundamental rights. Polite, to the point. You're going to have 30 to 60 seconds. Just be nice, but get the message across. If you want to actually do something worthwhile, there it is. Certainly, you could call the members of the House, but I'm afraid that Nancy Pelosi's House is going to go pass a bunch of gun control laws. They're actually calling them back from recess so they can do that. And then they'll have this whole package of stuff and then throw it over the Senate and say, see, you guys just won't do anything. Well, the whole idea of do something, you have crowds chanting now, do something. Does that apply even if it's wrong, even if it's not productive, even if it's counterproductive? Let's talk about thought crimes. Should somebody be subjected to someone who says, you're thinking bad thoughts? Pre-crime. You might commit a crime sometime in the future. So we're going to have to do something about that now. Yeah, Minority Report. That's what red flag laws are. Somebody said you're a bad person, and we're going to come take your guns away, and you're going to have to prove that you're not going to commit a crime in the future. Wow. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Here's the thing. People say, well, you'll have due process. You'll be able to argue your case. Well, first they're going to come with guns, and they're going to take all your guns. If there's anybody else in the house and they own guns, they're going to take those guns too, because it doesn't make any sense, logically, to leave any guns in the house. So the whole deal of, well, they're not, my wife has guns. Good luck with that. And that's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars. And months, if not years, to fight it. How are you going to prove that you are not a danger to other people? How do you prove a negative? You're going to hire mental health experts. You're going to subject yourself to a battery of tests. Not to mention, of course, the lawyers. Figure, I don't know, call it 50 hours of lawyer. If you get a cheap one, it's $300 an hour. Here's $15,000. So much for the due process, right? Thought crimes. Who'd have thunk it? Had a thought the other day. Just one of those deals you kind of go, oh. Sometimes you kind of sit back and things coalesce. And you go, maybe that's what's actually going on here. What group of people could you list that you would be okay, that generally people would be okay just going in and taking their rights away from them? What group of people? Terrorists. That's the term these days. So when they start branding gun owners and the NRA as terrorist, and they say you're a terrorist organization, you people are terrorists, NRAs, this is a choice of words that was carefully come up with. They didn't just happen to come up with that. Because if they can get the general public to think of gun owners as terrorists, then the general public will be okay having action against you that actually violate the law, that you have no constitutional rights. Because you are, after all, let's go for it, a terrorist. It is often a battle of words, and they're very good at it. It's why we always have to be pushing back. More on how to do that when we come back. All right, back with you, 866 Talk Gun. Joe called in. He's out of North Dakota. I'm always talking about show up, stand up, speak up. Joe, what'd you do?
I did one better than calling the senator. I addressed an actual town hall with the senator.
How'd that happen?
Well, he has a thing he's one of America, I call him America's last senator because you can meet with him and stuff. he has what they call Coffee with Kramer. It's Senator Kramer.
Mm-hmm.
And says, well, I'm he might sound funny, but I'm here to represent second-class citizens for the Second Amendment. And also pointed out to him that I've never thought we'd live in a time when gun owners turned against gun owners. And the fact that gun violence legislation would lead to losing more family members than actual gun violence. And all the statements I made were true, and he agreed with me.
He agreed with you?
Yeah. He also said that he's more for keeping things at the 68 gun control level, and that the due process of law is just being overrun over this deal, and it's not being done right.
Did he give you any assessment of how he thinks it's going to go when they get back in session?
I didn't hear you. What?
Did he let you know how he thinks it's going to go when the Senate gets back in session and they start talking about things?
His comment there was, well, I'm glad we're in recess. So, I don't know.
Well,
would you like my first comment was, would you like to filibuster? I think he should. He'd be the ideal guy to filibuster the Senate.
Well, I know what he's saying. He's glad it's in recess right now because, this is a time when you can let some cool heads prevail. You don't get caught up in the do something. I mean, Trump said, we have to do something that works, not just do something. And look, I appreciate your call. I appreciate you doing that, Joe. Appreciate you standing up. And man, sound like that senator's a good one, Kramer. We all have to stand up. We all have to speak up. We have to call our senators, and if they're going to be around, go see them when they're having coffee or have a town hall or something. Be there. Stand up, polite but firm. Have your facts. Figure out what you're going to say ahead of time, so you're not stumbling around. Get it figured out. It's really interesting. I hope that the Senate will be the dam that stops this thing that's going forward. Make no mistake that the gun ban lobby is pushing hard because they know the NRA is compromised right now. The NRA is weak. God. The stories that are coming out, I mean, look, the reality is some of this stuff, a lot of us have known. A lot of us have been involved in this. We shake our heads and kept saying, you guys got to fix this. The latest one that popped up was Wayne LaPierre's wife. The NRA spending tens of thousands of dollars on hair and makeup for her. I don't know, and they say, well, that's necessary because we're calling on people to get, big donations. I don't think that's what people are giving their $35 to a year. I don't think they're planning on buying his wife makeup and hairdos. And the fact that they can't see that, the fact that they think that's legitimate, that they think that they can justify that tells me how out of touch they are. I am an NRA member. I am proud to be an NRA member. We need a strong NRA. The other groups do what they can, but they're not the NRA. And none of them are going to fill in. They're not going to. It's not going to happen. All that's happening is that NRA is just getting hammered. And now the New York Attorney General is going to have a meeting with Oliver North. NRA is saying, we want to be included in that. And the New York Attorney General is going, that ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. It's an ugly time, but you know what it means? It's up to you and me. We have to stand up. We have to show up. We have to speak up. We have to be the truth squad. That's what we're all about. Our number here, 866-TALK-GUN. What's your plan? How are you going to get involved?